Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to build a case study
Okay.
for bringing a cannabinoid or psilocybin product to market. And we're going to be using the QBD approach.
Yeah, the QBD approach is really all about building quality into the product
Right.
from the very beginning. So rather than testing for it later,
Yeah.
it's a very proactive approach that aligns with, the FDA and ICH guidelines.
So instead of just like throwing ingredients together and hoping for the best,
Right.
we're really strategically designing quality into each step of the process,
Exactly.
from the initial concept to the final product.
And that's what's so fascinating, I think, about this deep dive. We'll see how these QBD principles guide everything from identifying, those CQAs,
Right.
the critical quality attributes of the product,
Right.
to, navigating that regulatory maze and addressing societal concerns that surround these types of products.
Yeah. Okay, let's dive in. So first things first, we need to choose the product for the case study. Are we going with a cannabinoid or a psilocybin product?
Well, both have seen a surge of interest lately, especially with the evolving landscape of regulations and their potential as therapeutic agents.
That's true. But for this deep dive, let's focus on psilocybin.
Okay.
It's been making a lot of headlines lately for its potential in treating conditions like depression and anxiety.
Excellent choice. Psilocybin offers a really unique opportunity
Yeah.
to explore the complexities of QBD in a novel therapeutic area. Now, where do we begin with building quality into a psilocybin product?
Well, I think the heart and soul of QBD are those CQAs, right?
Yes.
Those critical quality attributes that determine if our product is a hit or miss.
Absolutely. They're the foundation of our entire QBD strategy.
Okay.
So let's define the CQAs for our psilocybin product. What comes to mind?
Well, I mean, first off, purity and potency
Yes.
have to be top priorities, right? Just like any other pharmaceutical, we need to know exactly what's in our product and that it's free from any, contaminants or anything that could be a nasty surprise.
Couldn't agree more. So we need to ensure that our product contains the correct amount of psilocybin
Right.
and that it's free from contaminants that could impact its safety or effectiveness.
And then, thinking long term, stability is crucial.
Yes, very much so.
Psilocybin is known to be sensitive to environmental factors, so we need a product that can really stand the test of time.
Absolutely. And we need to ensure that it remains potent and safe throughout its shelf life,
Right.
which means we need to carefully consider the formulation and packaging.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do we actually ensure these CQAs are met?
Right.
I mean, it feels kind of abstract right now.
Well, that's where the beauty of DOE comes in.
Oh, okay.
The design of experiments.
Okay.
It's like having a scientific detective on our case, helping us uncover the ideal recipe and process for our product.
Okay, DOE sounds intriguing. How would we apply it to, say, extracting psilocybin from the mushrooms?
So think of it as a systematic way to test
Okay.
different extraction conditions.
Right.
The solvents, the temperatures, time,
Yeah.
and really pinpoint that sweet spot that maximizes our yield
Yep.
while minimizing those impurities.
So DOE helps us get the most psilocybin out of those mushrooms,
Yeah.
but keeping things clean too.
Precisely. And we can apply DOE to other critical steps, like developing a stable formulation,
Yeah.
whether it's a capsule or a liquid or another delivery method that protects that psilocybin
Right.
and ensures its potency over time.
So we're using DOE to optimize every step of the process, from the extraction to the formulation, all with those CQAs in mind.
Exactly. It's about creating a robust and reproducible process that consistently delivers a high-quality psilocybin product.
Okay, so we've got our CQAs defined. We're using DOE to fine-tune our process. But, let's be honest, even with the best intentions, sometimes unwanted guests show up to the party. I'm talking about impurities.
Ah, yes, those impurities. The uninvited guests that can wreak havoc on our product's safety and efficacy.
Exactly.
So how do we become impurity detectives and identify these potential troublemakers?
Well, we have to start with the source material itself, right?
Right.
Those mushrooms.
Yes.
We need to make sure they're free from contaminants like pesticides, heavy metals, or other fungal species
Absolutely.
that could, hitch a ride.
And then the manufacturing process itself can introduce impurities.
Oh, right.
Things like residual solvents or byproducts from chemical reactions.
Yeah.
It's a delicate dance balancing the effectiveness with the safety.
Which is why we need those high-tech tools to track down even the smallest traces of impurities.
Precisely. So we rely on sophisticated analytical methods like chromatography and spectroscopy to detect and quantify those impurities. Think of them as our microscopic bloodhounds sniffing out any unwanted substances.
Okay, so we've identified those pesky impurities, but how do we make sure that our methods for detecting them are up to snuff?
Yeah.
Like, we need to make sure they're reliable and accurate.
Right, and that's where method validation comes in.
Okay.
It's all about proving that our analytical methods are reliable, accurate, and precise, giving us confidence in our results.
So it's not enough to just have a method, we need to validate it
Right,
to ensure that it's consistently producing reliable data.
precisely. Think of it like calibrating a scientific instrument.
Okay.
We need to make sure that it's giving us accurate readings.
Okay, so let's say we have an assay to measure the psilocybin content in our product.
Yeah.
How would we go about validating that assay?
So we would need to demonstrate that the assay accurately and consistently measures the amount of psilocybin, even in the presence of other compounds.
Okay.
It's about proving its reliability.
Okay, and the same would go for our impurity testing.
Exactly.
We need to show that our methods can reliably detect and quantify even tiny amounts of those potentially harmful impurities.
Exactly. Method validation is a critical step
Yeah.
in building that solid scientific foundation for our psilocybin product. It's about ensuring that our data is trustworthy
Right.
and that our product meets the highest quality standards.
Okay, so we've identified our CQAs, we've optimized our process with DOE, we've hunted down impurities, and we've validated our methods.
Phew.
It's been quite a journey.
It has, but all of this meticulous work is essential for the grand finale,
Okay.
our FDA submission.
Okay.
This is where we compile all of our evidence to demonstrate that our psilocybin product is safe, effective, and consistently manufactured.
Like putting together a giant puzzle,
Hmm.
with each piece representing a crucial aspect of our product's quality and safety.
And the FDA will be scrutinizing every piece. They'll want to see detailed information on our manufacturing process, our quality control measures, stability data, and all of those CQAs that we defined.
It sounds nerve-wracking,
Right.
but it's also reassuring to know that there's such a rigorous process in place to protect public health.
Absolutely. The FDA's role is to ensure that any new drug, including our psilocybin product, meets the highest standards of safety and efficacy. They're the gatekeepers of public trust.
And speaking of public trust, we can't forget the societal baggage that comes with psilocybin.
Right.
There's a history of controversy and misconception that we need to address.
Yeah, it's crucial to acknowledge those concerns head on
Right.
and engage in really open and honest conversations.
Yeah.
We need to educate the public, dispel any myths,
Yeah.
and build trust in the therapeutic potential of psilocybin.
One big concern is that potential for misuse.
Right.
People worry that if psilocybin becomes more readily available, it'll be abused
Right.
and lead to negative consequences.
But it's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And it underscores the need for responsible use and careful regulation.
Yeah.
We need to ensure that psilocybin is used safely and ethically in therapeutic settings.
And what about the long-term effects?
Yeah.
I mean, while early studies are promising, there's still much we don't know about the long-term impact of psilocybin therapy.
Absolutely. Continued research is crucial
Yeah.
to fully understand both the benefits and the potential risks of long-term psilocybin use.
Yeah. And then we can't forget about accessibility and equity.
Absolutely.
You know, these potentially life-changing therapies should be available to everyone who needs them,
Yes,
regardless of their background or their socioeconomic status.
you're right. We need to ensure that psilocybin therapy doesn't become another luxury treatment that is only accessible to the privileged.
Right.
It's a matter of social justice and equity.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've defined CQAs, we've explored the power of DOE, we've identified those sneaky impurities, we've validated our methods,
Right.
and even touched upon those crucial societal concerns.
It's been a whirlwind of information, but remember, FDA approval isn't the finish line. It's just the beginning of our product's journey. In the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore what happens after our psilocybin product hits the market. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of bringing a psilocybin product to market.
Yeah, we've laid the groundwork, we defined those CQAs, those critical quality attributes,
Right.
and navigated all those, complexities of development.
But the journey doesn't end with FDA approval.
Right.
In fact, it's just the beginning of a whole new chapter, post-market surveillance.
Precisely. Getting our product, our psilocybin product, into the hands of patients, that's a huge milestone.
Yeah.
But it also marks the start of a very crucial phase, monitoring its real-world performance.
It's like launching a ship.
Yeah.
You know, you've built it, you've tested it.
Right.
You've made sure it's seaworthy.
Right.
But once it's out on the open ocean, you need to keep a watchful eye on it.
Exactly. Post-market surveillance is all about gathering that data, analyzing trends,
Yeah.
and making sure that our product is, sailing smoothly in the real world.
So what are we looking for specifically? What kind of data is crucial during this post-market phase?
Well, first and foremost, we need to be vigilant about safety. Clinical trials are excellent
Yeah.
for establishing a safety profile, but they just don't capture the full spectrum of potential side effects, especially those rare ones.
Right, because in clinical trials, you're working with a limited number of participants.
Exactly. But once a product is approved and it's being used by a much larger and more diverse population, well, there's a chance that we might see side effects that just weren't apparent in those initial trials.
So we need a system for tracking those adverse events,
Yes.
any negative side effects that people experience while using our psilocybin product.
Absolutely. So healthcare providers and even patients themselves can report any adverse events that they observe, and that gives us a real-time feed of safety data.
And this data is reported to the FDA.
Yes, the FDA has a system for collecting and analyzing those reports. It's like a safety net, catching any potential problems early on.
And if a pattern of serious side effects emerges,
Well, then the FDA can take action, They might issue warnings or update the product's label or even recall the product from the market if the risks outweigh the benefits.
so it's a dynamic process, constantly adapting to new information and really prioritizing patient safety above all else.
Precisely. And post-market surveillance isn't just about reacting to problems, it's also about proactively monitoring the product's long-term effectiveness.
Right, so we want to know if those initial benefits that were observed in those clinical trials, those improvements in depression or anxiety, if they actually hold up over time.
Exactly. We want to see if those positive effects are, durable, not just a flash in the pan.
How do we gather that kind of long-term data?
Well, we can conduct follow-up studies, you see. Tracking patients who've received that psilocybin therapy over months or even years. And this can help us to understand the trajectory of their recovery and to identify any factors that might influence those long-term outcomes.
Okay.
And to refine treatment protocols accordingly.
So it's like having a feedback loop,
Yes.
constantly refining our approach based on real-world experience.
Exactly. And post-market surveillance also plays a crucial role in identifying any potential new uses for our product.
Okay, so we might discover that it's effective for conditions beyond those that we initially studied.
Precisely. Real-world data can reveal those unexpected benefits, opening up new avenues for research,
Yeah.
and really expanding that therapeutic potential of psilocybin.
It's like our psilocybin product is on this continuous journey of discovery,
Right.
constantly evolving as we learn more about its effects.
That's a great way to put it. Post-market surveillance, it keeps us curious, it keeps us learning,
Yeah.
and it ensures that we're using this, this powerful tool responsibly and effectively.
Now, beyond safety and effectiveness, there's another crucial aspect of this post-market surveillance,
Okay.
addressing those broader societal concerns.
You're right. Bringing a psilocybin product to market isn't just about the science and the data.
Right.
It's also about navigating those complexities of public perception.
Yeah.
And ensuring that this powerful tool is used ethically and responsibly.
We talked earlier about the fear of misuse.
Yes.
The potential for abuse if psilocybin becomes more widely available. How does post-market surveillance help us to address that concern?
Well, it allows us to monitor those patterns of use,
Right.
identify any signals of misuse or diversion,
Okay.
and then to implement strategies to mitigate those risks.
So it's about being proactive, not just waiting for problems to arise before taking action.
Exactly. And we can also use this post-market data to educate the public
Right.
about the appropriate use of psilocybin, the importance of set and setting,
Okay.
and the risks that are associated with recreational use.
It's about shifting the narrative, moving away from those outdated stereotypes and fostering a more informed and, nuanced understanding of psilocybin's therapeutic potential.
Right, and post-market surveillance also helps us to address those concerns about accessibility and equity.
Yeah.
We can track how our product is being distributed, identify any barriers to access,
Right.
and work to ensure that it's reaching those who need it most.
So it's not just about bringing a product to market.
Right.
It's about bringing it to market responsibly and ensuring that its benefits are shared equitably.
Precisely. Post-market surveillance is a very powerful tool
Yeah.
for promoting social justice and for ensuring that this new wave of psychedelic medicine doesn't exacerbate existing health disparities.
This deep dive into post-market surveillance has been incredibly insightful. It's clear that this phase is not an afterthought. It's an integral part of the product's life cycle,
Absolutely.
ensuring its safety, effectiveness, and responsible use.
It's a testament to the commitment of researchers, clinicians, and regulators to really prioritize patient well-being and to navigate those complexities of bringing a novel therapeutic like psilocybin to the world.
And this commitment extends beyond the scientific and regulatory realms.
Mm.
It encompasses those broader societal considerations, ensuring that this powerful tool is used ethically and, for the greater good.
You've hit the nail on the head. Post-market surveillance is about accountability, transparency, and a deep respect for the potential of psilocybin to really transform lives. It's about ensuring that this new era of psychedelic medicine is marked by progress, compassion, and a commitment to healing.
This has been a fascinating exploration of the post-market journey, but our deep dive isn't over yet. In the next part, we'll shift our focus to a crucial aspect of bringing any product to market:
Okay.
label accuracy.
Ah, yes, label accuracy. It might seem a bit mundane, compared to those complexities of clinical trial
Right.
and regulatory submissions. But when it comes to putting a psilocybin product on the market, label accuracy is absolutely paramount.
Because what's the point of developing a groundbreaking therapy if patients can't even be sure what they're getting?
Exactly. In the final part of our depth dive, we'll explore the challenges of label accuracy, the regulations that govern it,
Yeah.
and the steps we can take to ensure that our psilocybin product's label is a beacon of transparency and reliability. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
We're zeroing in on label accuracy.
It might not sound as exciting, as
Right.
like exploring the brain or,
Okay.
all the FDA regulations, but
Yeah.
when it comes to putting a psilocybin product on the market, label accuracy is, it's really paramount.
Because at the end of the day, patients need to know exactly what they're getting.
Exactly. Yeah. A label is more than just a sticker on a bottle. It's a promise,
Yeah.
a guarantee that the product inside contains what it says it contains.
It's about building trust, too,
Yes,
with patients and healthcare providers.
absolutely. And that trust is built on a foundation of transparency and reliability.
Right.
So, a label that's clear, accurate, and complete, it's a sign that we've done our due diligence,
Right.
that we're committed to quality, and that we respect the intelligence of our consumers.
So what are the key elements of a psilocybin product label that we really need to pay attention to?
Well, first and foremost, the amount of psilocybin.
Okay.
That needs to be stated clearly and accurately, usually in milligrams per dose.
Because dosage is crucial,
Yeah.
especially when we're dealing with a substance that has such powerful psychological effect.
Exactly. We need to ensure that patients are receiving, the intended dose,
Yeah.
neither too much nor too little. And we need to make it really easy for healthcare providers to calculate the appropriate dose for their patients.
And beyond the amount of psilocybin, what else needs to be on the label?
Well, we need to list all of the inactive ingredients, often referred to as excipients. These are the substances that help deliver the psilocybin, like fillers, binders, and coatings.
So it's like reading the ingredient list on a food product.
Exactly.
You want to know what you're ingesting.
Right. And some patients might be allergic or sensitive to certain excipients. So it's crucial for their safety.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about warnings or precautions?
Yeah.
Are there any specific risks associated with psilocybin use that need to be on the label?
Absolutely. The label should clearly state that psilocybin can interact with certain medications
Right.
and that it's not suitable for everyone,
Okay.
especially individuals with a history of certain mental health conditions.
So the label serves as a reminder that, psilocybin is a really powerful substance that should be used responsibly and under the guidance of a qualified healthcare professional.
Exactly. And we also need to include storage instructions
Okay.
to ensure the product's stability and prevent degradation.
Right, because like we talked about earlier, psilocybin can be sensitive to light, heat, and moisture. Proper storage is key for preserving its potency.
Precisely. And finally, the label should include contact information for the manufacturer,
Right.
in case consumers or healthcare providers have any questions or concerns.
So it's like providing that direct line of communication,
Yeah.
fostering transparency and accountability.
Exactly. A well-crafted label, it's a sign of a a responsible manufacturer,
Yeah.
one that prioritizes patient safety, clear communication, and the ethical use of psilocybin.
Now, creating an accurate and informative label is one thing, but how do we ensure that what's on the label actually matches what's in the bottle?
Well, that's where that rigorous testing and quality control comes in.
Okay.
Every batch of our product needs to be tested to verify its potency, its purity,
Right.
and the accuracy of the label claims.
So it's not enough to just slap a label on a bottle and hope for the best. We need to back up those claims with, solid scientific data.
Yeah, exactly. We rely on, those sophisticated analytical methods we talked about, like chromatography and spectroscopy,
Right.
to ensure that each batch meets our stringent quality standards.
And is this testing done by like an independent third-party lab?
Ideally, yes. Third-party testing provides that extra layer of objectivity
Yeah.
and really helps to build trust with consumers and regulator.
So it's like having an independent auditor come in and verify our claims, ensuring that we're, playing by the rules.
Precisely. And this commitment to transparency and accountability, it's really crucial for the long-term success of, any product, but especially ours,
Yeah.
and for the broader acceptance of psychedelic medicine as a legitimate therapeutic approach.
This deep dive into label accuracy has been incredibly insightful. It's clear that something as seemingly simple as a label plays such a crucial role
Yeah.
in building trust, ensuring safety, and promoting the responsible use of psilocybin.
Absolutely. It's a testament to the fact that every detail matters when we're dealing with a substance as powerful and as potentially transformative as psilocybin.
And as we conclude this deep dive, I'm really struck by the interconnectedness of all these elements.
Yeah.
From defining those CQAs and optimizing our process to navigating those regulations and ensuring that label accuracy. It's like a symphony of science, strategy, and ethics.
You've captured it perfectly. Bringing a psilocybin product to market, it's not a solo act, it's a collaborative effort
Yeah.
that requires expertise, diligence, and a deep commitment to, quality, safety, and the well-being of patients.
It's been an incredible journey exploring the complexities of this emerging field. And as we kind of step back from this deep dive, I'm filled with a sense of both awe and responsibility.
I agree.
Awe at the potential of psilocybin to alleviate suffering and expand our understanding of the human mind.
Yeah.
And responsibility to ensure that this powerful tool is used wisely, ethically, and for the greater good.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it sparked your curiosity and inspired you to, learn more about the fascinating world of psychedelic medicine. Until next time, keep exploring.